Mr. President, university faculty and staff, honored guests, friends, families, and my fellow Wahoos, welcome to the virtual valedictory exercises for the UVA class of 2021. My name is Kristen Myers, and I have had the honor of serving as your class vice president for the past 3 years. Let's get the obvious out of the way. This is never how we would have imagined our fourth year looking. We had imagined the quintessential UVA fourth year experience immortalized in the Instagram photos of classes before us. Instead, we've had a year of virtual classes, Zoom events, and standing in a parking garage spitting in a tube. I think it's important, even in this special time of celebration, to acknowledge the loss that many of us are feeling right now. No matter how this past year has impacted each of us personally, it is okay and valid to have these feelings. Despite the many ways this year has been different, and this finals weekend may look different, let us not look past all of our accomplishments up to this moment. Class of 2021, we have so much to celebrate. No matter if you're tuning in from the socially distanced masses at Scott Stadium or from the comfort of your living room, we are one in our identity as Who's and as the class of 2021. 4 years ago, we started our UVA experience together, and we will finish it together. Recently, I've been thinking a lot about our first year move-in weekend. For me, that meant hauling a mini fridge up 5 flights of stairs at Gooch Dillard. For you, it might have meant fighting for an elevator at Watson Webb or setting up 4 fans to make up for the lack of air conditioning in Page Emmett. Or maybe you transferred to UVA as a second or third year and your first move-in weekend was setting up apartment furniture in Lambeth or on 14th Street. You see, I have this vivid memory from that weekend when I first met the girls on my hall. Our incredible RA, Caroline, had lined us all up outside Runk Dining Hall on what must have been the hottest day of the year. The place was absolute chaos. It took 15 or 20 minutes for us to be let in. What I remember most, though, was looking at all of my hallmates standing single file against the brick wall and thinking that these were my new classmates. These were the people I'd navigate this new place with. With all of the nerves of starting college classes and the sometimes overwhelming number of opportunities in front of us, we would all find our way together. And 4 years later, we have all lived out such fruitful and unique UVA experiences. My hallmate Rachel, who remains one of my best friends to this day, dedicated thousands of hours as a volunteer EMT firefighter and was recently accepted to her top choice medical school. Her roommate Lada double majored in computer science and studio art, spent her Friday nights hanging out with the Japan Club, and recently accepted a tech position at a Fortune 500 company. My sweet mate Kate got a full-ride scholarship to study abroad in Poland for her second year, where she explored her passion for Slavic languages. In the past 4 years, all of us have lived out our own UVA stories. We've fallen in love with new and exciting disciplines, we've fostered meaningful relationships, and we've made an impact on this place, even if in small ways. We have learned and grown and will go into the world with not only a diploma, but with the solid character, the steadfast resilience, and the heart of the class of 2021. We started this experience together, and this weekend, whether here on grounds or from all over the world, we will finish it together. Congratulations, class of 2021, and welcome to Final Exercises Weekend.
We did it. In the most difficult year in recent memory, we never quit, we never gave up. And now here we are, the class of 2021, ready to take on anything life can throw at us. This certainly hasn't been the fourth year that we envisioned as we stepped on grounds as wide-eyed first years, but our strength and resilience has empowered us to make this year meaningful nonetheless. Although we're not out of the woods yet, and it's crucial that we continue to act responsibly, let's take a moment to appreciate how far we've come all the way back to first year.
We arrived at UVA with emotions running high in the wake of the events of August 11th and 12th. After seeing the solar eclipse during our move-in, the concert for Charlottesville helped our community heal and rebuild from a traumatic summer. That same year, we celebrated 200 years of UVA, bidding farewell to T. Sully and inaugurating Jim Ryan as our new president.
We had midnight snowball fights on the lawn and more photos than I'd care to mention. We held community events like Lodal and trick-or-treating on the lawn. We got up at the crack of dawn to haul our butts up humpback, and we careened recklessly through the streets on our infamous lime skaters.
The corner bridge had a higher body count than most of us. Must be some sort of record for roofs claimed, am I right?
And not to dwell on Grandmark, I try to forget it too. But remember when that unnamed someone flooded it? I sure do.
We've had an absolutely wild ride in athletics during our time here. From our heartbreaking loss in round 1 of March Madness, to qualifying for a bowl game, to beating Tech, winning national championships in lacrosse, swimming, and diving, And let's not forget about that national championship in March Madness. #1, baby, whoa!
And not to mention all the great concerts UPC has brought us over the past 3 years, like T-Pain, Anderson .Paak, and Still Lucy.
We all embarked on the spring break that never ended. In spring of 2020, when we were sent off grounds due to the global pandemic. However, our class found ways to persevere, lean on each other, and support those in need.
Despite the constraints of COVID, UVA finished the construction of the memorial to enslaved laborers, commemorating the legacy of craftsmanship and ingenuity of the enslaved people who built this university.
We successfully transitioned community events, such as Lighting of the Lawn, into a virtual format, bringing light in ways we'd never had before. And the UVA hospital positioned itself on the cutting edge of COVID vaccine research.
And now we're graduating. Whether you're staying in Charlottesville, moving across the country, or even the world, we're always going to carry the special moments we shared together during our time here. We are, and will remain, the class of 2021. We are whose.
Established in 1993, the Trustees Community Service Award honors a graduating student who has endeavored to enrich the university and Charlottesville communities through service during their tenures as a student. This year, we would like to recognize Taylor Thompson for this award. Taylor Thompson has exemplified leadership, altruism, and community service throughout his undergraduate career. He has been a part of Habitat for Humanity, serving as president of the organization since April 2018. In addition to Habitat for Humanity, Taylor has made it a personal mission to advocate for affordable housing. He has pushed for affordable housing units within the Charlottesville community and on a national scale by working at both the U.S. and international branches of Habitat. He has also represented UVA on Capitol Hill and has lobbied alongside senators for the implementation of affordable housing. Within the UVA community, Taylor served as an orientation leader during the summer of 2018 and continued his work as a university tour guide since then. Taylor has dedicated his time, service, and ideas through his passion for affordable housing and the environment. We would like to honor Taylor Thompson with the Community Service Award for dedicating countless hours to selflessly striving for equity and their commitment to creating a better Charlottesville community and UVA community.
I'm proud to have nominated Taylor Thompson for this Community Leadership Award. And I guess I should say that my first memory of Taylor was on the first day of class. He was assigned to me along with 21 others of first-year students in the School of Architecture, which I was supposed to orient them to the university as well as to the department and the curriculum. And if you've ever met him, you'll know that Taylor Thompson is very tall, and he's clearly from Texas. He was speaking before because he has a certain way of walking in a stride as if he's come off a horse or two. So I've always thought, sending that group of 21, and I asked them all where they're from, and he said Texas, and I said, what part? Because I taught at Rice in Houston, I kind of know Texas well. And he said, Austin, and I said, fantastic town. And I said, why did you come so far to study here? And he went on with it all. But he became literally outstanding then. He has this great modest characteristic, I think, by appearance and manner, be like Gary Cooper, who's quiet and authentic, but John Wayne, I like cowboy movies, that is very forceful and determined, and he certainly has been consistent. His great claim to fame is that he's been working with Jimmy Carter since he was 15 because his mother was a notable architect in Austin, Texas, and did the first houses for the Austin Coalition for Housing. She passed away when he was about 15. He was determined to establish a foundation and pursue Habitat for Humanity. And it was clearly that before he came. He did beautifully in his academic courses and in his studios, and I left myself out of having some fantastic thesis students. He's among them now. So his thesis project, which is really notable, is to gather international educators and national educators who design, build, and involve students, and to establish a new major within the School of Architecture called Community Development and Building. And he's working with the Thomas Jefferson Foundation and community and university organizations, etc., to get that instilled as a 4-year curriculum within the School of Architecture, which has architecture and architectural history and landscape and planning. So he's been instrumental in developing a new curriculum that way, but he's also at the same time designing housing for 10th and Page right off West Main Street, and is, in my mind, as an architect, his great claim to fame is not a radical revision of how a family might live, single-family house, but he's making an inhabitable basement like a grotto, which is part of an outdoor courtyard, and he's making an attic, which is an extraordinary room with all sorts of dormers and things that will let light in, like Jefferson's Monticello, around the entire thing. So he's very inventive as a designer, but he's also tremendously community-oriented.
Established in 1996, the Trustees Cultural Fluency Award recognizes a graduating student who has demonstrated an understanding and appreciation for cultural and intellectual diversity during their time at the university. This year, we would like to recognize Alyssa Damsky. Since she has stepped foot in this university, Alyssa Damsky has highlighted the importance of culture, diversity, and community at UVA. Alyssa became a peer mentor in the peer mentoring program for Latinx students at the start of her second year. She then served on the executive committee as PMP Familial Head. Through her work, she has helped foster a community for Latinx students to share and embrace their culture. In addition, Alyssa has served as a resident advisor in the Spanish House. She brings her Latinx perspective to the living community by sharing her interest in cultural music and practices, but she also takes time to help the residents understand and connect with their Spanish-speaking cultures. She has also worked to make an impact on the greater Charlottesville community, serving as a translator for adult immigrants. She has translated many documents into Spanish during COVID-19. Through her time at UVA, Alyssa has prioritized connecting with others and learning and spreading cultural awareness. She takes time to think about others around her, specifically the cultural impacts of her actions. We would like to acknowledge and honor her work by presenting her with the Cultural Fluency Award.
Hi, my name is Sarah Gatica, and I nominated Alyssa Negron-Damsky for the Cultural Literacy Award for the class of 2021. So there are many reasons why I nominated Alyssa for this award, but besides her accomplishments and involvements, the biggest thing is that she just embodies cultural literacy through everything that she does. She always takes the time to think about others, think about how her actions impact others, and think about how we can connect and be better people and create the best community here at UVA. She inspires me every day to, continue to learn and ask questions and, be curious about those around me. And she always takes the time to talk about her own cultural background as a Puerto Rican and how she can connect with others both similar and different than herself. My time here at UVA definitely would not be the same without Alyssa, and I know that many others would say the same. Alyssa makes UVA a better place.
The Resiliency in Action Award was created by the class of 2021 trustees to recognize a graduating student who has demonstrated a commitment to their intellectual and extracurricular pursuits in the face of obstacles and failures. We would like to recognize Caitlin Ann Shea for this award. Throughout her 4 years here, Caitlin has demonstrated what it means to succeed despite all of the obstacles presented to her. Caitlin has overcome the obstacle of managing ulcerative colitis as well as IBS during her time at the university. Because of the complications with her health, she was constantly in and out of the hospital, splitting her time between fulfilling her academic requirements and managing her physical and mental health. Her experiences have impacted her personal and professional goals of being a nurse, and her resilience is exemplified by her acceptance to the University of Virginia School of Nursing's clinical nursing program. Her passion for helping others is reflected in her work as a mentor in the College Mentor for Kids program, as well as her involvement in the chronically ill and disabled CABS meetings. In addition, Caitlin has made strides in improving the mental and physical health of her peers through the work she does with the Mental Health Coalition, as well as her work on the Safety and Wellness Division of Student Council. Caitlin truly cares about the community she is a part of, and throughout every challenge presented to her, whether it be juggling school, physical, or mental health, has persevered and uses her experiences to educate, help, and uplift the people in her community. Because of her contributions to our community, we would love to recognize Caitlin with the Resiliency in Action Award in honor of the perseverance, kindness, and hard work she has exhibited throughout her undergraduate career.
Hi, my name is Maddie Peterson, and I nominated Caitlin Shea for the Resilience in Action Award because she is the most resilient person I've ever met. Through her time at UVA, she struggled with Crohn's disease, but has gotten through her struggles and is now going on to be a clinical nursing leader in the CNL program at UVA. And she's going to make an incredible nurse, just like she is an incredible friend to everybody that she knows, including myself. And she's my best friend, and I love her so much, and I wish her the best next year.
At Valediction each year, the Seventh Society presents two unique awards, the Louis A. Honesty Memorial Scholar Athlete Award and the James Earl Sargent Award, which is given annually to an outstanding student athlete and a student organization that makes major contributions to the university's community. This year, the 2021 Louis A. Honesty Memorial Scholar Athlete Award recipient is Paige Madden, a member of the swimming and diving team. Over the course of her 4 years at UVA, Paige Madden has demonstrated the highest standards of excellence both in and out of the pool. Her recent accomplishments include being a member of the U.S. Swimming Junior National Team, being a two-time medalist at the 2019 World University Games, a 2016 U.S. Olympic Trials qualifier, setting the UVA record in the 200-yard freestyle, as well as bringing home many wins for UVA, including the first swimming and diving NCAA championship title, Wahoo Wah. She has also been recognized as the 2019 ACC Swimmer of the Year, 2020 COSITA All-American at Large recipient, and the Co-ACC Scholar Athlete for 2 years in a row. Her coach, Tor De Sorbo, describes her as someone who every single minute is working really hard. He states that it's not that other people aren't exceptional, it's that Paige is on a whole nother level. While her athletic achievements are impressive, it's important to note her impact outside the swimming and diving community. A student in the UVA School of Education and Human Development who is majoring in kinesiology and minoring in health and well-being. Madden is an active member of several organizations, including Student Athlete Mentors, Student Athlete Committed to Honor and Leadership, Madison House, as well as serving as president of the Encore Club. Her personal academic and athletic achievement and contributions to the university. I am incredibly honored to present the Louis A. Honest Memorial Scholar Athlete Award to one of my class of 21 peers, Paige Madden. The 2021 James Earl Sargent Award goes to the Political Latinx United for Movement and Action in Society, also known as Plumas. Plumas is a community of passionate students who seek to empower the Latinx community in Charlottesville and UVA through relationship building, direct action, advocacy, and collective political education. Plumas grounds its work in collective liberation and the recognition of how systematic oppression plays a role in inequalities that exist in our community. Importantly, their members also ground their work in personal experience. Plumas works to fulfill its mission by working with local community organizations and community activists to advocate for local issues. They work with organizations like the Legal Aid Justice Center, Creciendo Juntos, and the Charlottesville Immigrant Freedom Fund. They also host events such as monthly open mic nights, which allows the university and Charlottesville community to engage in cultural expression and encourage discussions on how heavy topics that marginalized communities face to shed light on the importance of community healing.
Each year, the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award Committee selects 2 student recipients from the graduating class who best exemplify the highest qualities of character, humility, and unselfish service. The committee also selects an individual from the university community whose compassion, service, and influence is widely acknowledged and appreciated. All of the recipients of this award are exceptional people, but they are distinctly defined by their acts in support of others. Their deeds are not spent on their self-interest, but rather in the interest of the community. They represent our highest ideals and our greatest hopes. Hello, I'm Wayne Cozart, and I was truly honored to receive the Community Member Award in 2020. I did also, along with student recipients Caitlin Diaz and Cheston Harrington. I am delighted to present the awards to this year's recipients. Our first recipient, an exemplary mentor, trusted colleague, and loyal friend, Dean Vicki Gist, has served multitudes of students through her work in her early career in housing and residence life, and now in multicultural student services, as well as in fraternity and sorority life. Dean Gist is adept in navigating these diverse spaces with fierce intelligence, dedication, and a care for students that is unparalleled. The first director of Multicultural Student Services, Dean Gist has built this new unit and expanded its footprint, working alongside students to create new spaces and places that provide a home and a sense of belonging for so many. While she never seeks the spotlight, her work speaks volumes. She is the best of our community, and we are proud to honor her today. Selflessness, humility, warmth, and empathy. If you know Lauren Brown, you have experienced these gifts from her so often. A quiet but impactful leader, Lauren has reshaped the School of Architecture, thinking deeply to ask essential questions of spatial and social justice in design, while at the same time guiding the course of action necessary for support, care, and belonging. Motivated by a deep sense of service and paying forward the privileges and gifts she has received from others, we are so pleased to be able to honor Lauren's leadership, positivity, and generous spirit today with this award. Finally, while this award often goes to students outside traditional leadership roles, the tireless work of Mazen Shalaby to represent diverse student voices to those in power in this most difficult year requires a departure from the usual practice. With a unique ability to manage difficult situations with a blend of thoughtfulness, deep intelligence, and warmth, Mazen engages others genuinely and seeks to find opportunities for common ground and a path forward. A committed friend and a collaborator to so many, Mazen has been a humble and reliable source of leadership and support through this strange and difficult year. He embodies the characteristics of matching words and deeds that is the heart of this, the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award. Congratulations to all of the winners. Our community is better for your commitment and for your dedication to others.
Babe, it is our pleasure to present you with the 2021 Gordon F. Rainey Jr. Award for Vigilance to the Student Experience. We have watched you for 16 years, I've watched you for 16 years, as you've led students and cared for them and served the university and the Alumni Association, and particularly in this past year where that student experience just got turned upside down. I've watched from the dining room table as you have led them and cared for them in ways that just went above and beyond, in addition to taking on extra duties on the COVID care team, just in your sense of calling and your sense of purpose to the work that you do and the people that you serve. I want to read one quote from this letter from the Society of the Purple Shadows. It says, "Maya Angelou once said, 'My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style.'" And I think that speaks to you in the way you've handled this last year and the way you've led students for 16 years to a T. We're very proud of you. We're inspired by you. We love seeing you in your element and doing the work that you do. So congratulations.
We're so proud of you, Mommy. Love you.
Love you.
Today, you stand before me empowered by your time here on grounds and educated to move forward in the pursuit of your passions and goals. We have been allowed this compressed time period to explore the depths of our minds and capabilities. We have been given a safe space to explore our identities and come up with comprehensive ideas and solutions while not being burdened by the idea of perfection. We've been allowed to stumble, to make mistakes, and even encouraged to do so. In the pursuit of our education, we have relied on each other and the community to keep us safe while we continued our pursuits. However, these accomplishments we've achieved cannot be understood without the walls, measures, and most of all, the people who have worked tirelessly day in and day out to guarantee us this safe space. The healthcare workers, custodians, dining hall staff, RMC ambassadors, local shop owners, first responders, UVA administration, Charlottesville community members, professors, family and friends, and so many more. These people have played major roles in getting us to where we are today. We send out special appreciation to all of the individuals who have made our time as undergrads possible. Without you, we would not be where we are today. Your efforts and services have not gone unnoticed. In fact, members of our community are even excited to give shout-outs to particular individuals who have gone above and beyond. I share with you now these sentiments of thanks for individuals. Peter Hodgkins has served as UVA dining hall staff since before our first year. Every day, he has been completely and utterly integral to UVA dining's success and safety during the pandemic. Susan Davis works as the Associate Vice President of the Division of Student Affairs. Susan provided daily input to the university leadership as a dedicated advocate for the students. Her commitment to a safe student residential experience and her undying concern for the well-being of all students was prominent throughout this unique pandemic year. Robert Ragland, more often known as Sean, is a strong member of the facilities management team. Sean took the initiative to salvage hundreds of sheets of plexiglass out of Alderman Library to create protective COVID barriers for the UVA bookstore, Newcomb Hall, UVA libraries, and the local voting precinct for the presidential election. Sean is also responsible for installing all of the tent heaters around grounds. Lastly, Sean took the lead to install the new fire tables located around grounds. He has exhibited a can-do attitude to keep things moving through this global pandemic. Christine Wagler, a registered nurse at Elson Student Health, has stepped up time and time again to ensure students have access to care during the COVID-19 pandemic. Leading all nurses and frontline staff at Student Health and Wellness, Christine helped students who were returning from China, even from the Wuhan province, and worked to make sure that there was a plan in place to care for any that may need medical assessment or care after their return. Christine, with her calm, flexible, creative approach to leadership, has worked around the clock, including evenings, weekends, and snow days, to ensure that staffing, supplies, and training met everyone's needs. Anna Fitzgerald works in the Student Affairs Vice President office, and she has shown time and time again the drive to support UVA students and CIOs. In particular, Anna went out of her way to make sure Africa Day 2021 could come to life for the Organization of African American Students. Students continually express their appreciation and admiration for her. Tanya Moore leads the custodial team that provides service to UVA's residential housing properties. She lights up any room she's in with a warm smile and incredible customer service. Throughout the pandemic, she has solved problems and sought to help make our residents and employees feel comfortable, even as she worked to learn about the COVID-19 and keep our living and working environment safe. Move out for summer of 2020 was unique to say the least, and Tanya rushed around to make sure that everyone had the assistance they needed, which helped make a stressful and uncharted process successful. Gary Mason is an extremely hardworking individual for facilities management, and he enjoys putting that energy towards lighting the lawn. Gary meets each student with joy to help prepare and install all of the lights for Lodal. He has made an impression on each and every student volunteer who has helped with hanging up the thousands and thousands of light bulbs for the annual celebration. Gary has even expressed to his peers that his interaction and mentorship with the students and the friendships that he developed along the way were the highlight of his year. Jamal Hurd, a proud officer of the Charlottesville Police Department, has shown through his interactions with students, his warm smile, and his dedication what it truly means to serve. Throughout his patrols, he goes out of his way to help, connect, and even develop friendships with those he meets. I myself have come to consider Jamal a friend, and will never forget the times he has engaged in conversation with me, inspired me, and even encouraged my pursuits. Dara Orange, known also as James, has been a fixture up at the lawn since he joined the ambassador team years ago. If you have been a resident of the lawn or range, you have seen James making his rounds, ensuring all is safe for his lawn community. He is a rock-solid person that always has a smile for whoever he meets, be it the lawn residents, pavilion residents, or the countless visitors he sees every day. Michael Montgomery, known as Mike, is an ambassador often on Main Street who has been recognized for being so dedicated to his job, for engaging in genuine conversation, and being undeniably a good person. He has offered his assistance, presence, and warming conversation to students after difficult nights, and students have expressed how safe they feel as a Charlottesville resident and UVA student to know that people like him are on the road. We recognize today and every day the effort and services that surround this UVA community and the privilege we have had to know that these individuals were there to support us. And these names only represent a small sampling of hands that worked so hard to support and enrich the undergraduate experience. We, the class of 2021, thank you for your efforts. And finally, let us allow this moment of silence for those of our graduating class that have passed away and that do not have the opportunity to walk in cap and gown with us. Josh Richardson, Henry Reed, Nick Marshall, Logan Lemus, you all have touched the lives of this class. You were a pivotal part of these years, from every life that you touched and all the joy and love you brought onto grounds. We hope the engraved UVA class rings provided to each of your families by the class of 2021 trustees may provide a symbol of your time and accomplishments here on grounds. Today, we recognize each of you and your families with our deepest heartfelt sorrows. Although today looks a bit different than we originally imagined, we will graduate with one heart, knowing that we will leave the University of Virginia as scholars, artists, national champions, friends, and most importantly, as the class of 2021. And for that, I thank you. Congratulations, Hoos.
Good evening, class of 2021. You've made it to valedictory exercises, and I couldn't be happier to be among the first to congratulate you. This won't be the last time you hear from me this weekend, but it may very well be the last time you see me on video, which is truly something to cheer about. As I've said before, your class will always have a special place in my heart. From your first year, when you endured the horrific events of August 11th and 12th, to the first round elimination of the men's basketball team, to the redemption of the victory in your second year, to the moment when you found out we were closing grounds in your third year, and then your return this past year. It has been a wild, sometimes tragic, sometimes joyful, and continually surprising ride. But you haven't simply persevered, you've grown and thrived, and along the way you've inspired others, including me. You're passionate about fairness, about justice, about health and the environment, and about caring for one another and for the Charlottesville community. You've been leaders, friends, fans, and classmates. In short, you're Hoos, and always will be. So if I could only share one wish with you, it would be that you never lose that spirit and compassion, no matter where you're headed next in life. And if I could share just one more wish for you, it would be that you cheer your hearts out at graduation this weekend. Congratulations, class of 2021, and I'll see you soon.
Good evening, graduating class of 2021. My name is Kia Azadbach, and today I am honored to introduce our valedictory exercises speaker, Jay Pharoah, a phenomenal American actor, stand-up comedian, impressionist, and fellow Virginian. From 2010 to 2016, Jay Pharoah was a prominent cast member for NBC's Saturday Night Live. He is known for his various celebrity impressions, including Barack Obama, Will Smith, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Eddie Murphy, just to name a few. In addition to his tenure at SNL, Mr. Pharoah has worked on over 25 films and television programs, including the blockbuster film Ride Along, as well as Family Guy and BoJack Horseman. You may even recognize him voicing one of the protagonists in the ever-popular Call of Duty franchise. Looking forward, you can expect to see Jay Pharoah in the upcoming Netflix romantic comedy, Resort to Love, and continuing as the host of Nickelodeon's Unfiltered. This moment is particularly special to me. Having attended the same high school as Mr. Pharoah, he was my role model, the person I looked up to, and a reminder that if he can go on to become one of the best in his field and overcome any obstacle, so can I. While this past year has made us face challenges we never could have expected, even down to our graduation celebrations being different, I hope we can all come together with our speaker and take in our last pieces of advice before departing, all while sharing some laughs along the way. With that, on behalf of the class of 2021 and the University of Virginia, I'm excited to present Jay Pharoah.
UVA, how are you? Jay Pharoah, SNL, and Virginia native. I'm from the 757. The first thing to say to you all today is congratulations. You're already ahead of most of the world, because most of the world doesn't even get accepted into college, let alone finish it. So for finishing, I would like to say right now, congratulations. I understand it could be hard, and it was hard to get to this point. And it's gonna get harder when you graduate, because you have so many people competing against you. Trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and know that God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. And once He does give you the opportunities, it's your responsibility to put in the work, stay fresh, stay on top, and keep going. At a comedy show about, I would say 16 years ago, I asked this comedian advice. I said, man, what advice can you give me while I'm out here trying to make it, while I'm trying to solidify myself as an artist? He said, don't be afraid to fail. So that is the same advice I will give everybody right now. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail, fail, and fail again. Because eventually, from failure comes success. And the predecessor of success is failure. So don't be afraid. Try. If you think about it, try it. If it doesn't work, it's okay. I was talking to a fellow actor of mine, and we had a roundtable conversation. It was me and it was 4 other actors. And he said that he went on 1,000 auditions before he landed his big role, and that was Antoine Fisher was the movie. And it blew my mind. I was flabbergasted to even know that he had to audition that much because he's so good. But it's a part of life. So fail, as Denzel says, fail, yep, fail big, but get back up. Fall 1,000 times and get up 100,000 times. I think he said something like that. But don't be afraid. Because the hard part is starting, and you're already there. I never got the opportunity to finish school. I want to eventually one day, but you know, I got whisked away on the SNL train. But that's something else for you all to think about. As you're out here in the world and you have one thing that pops off, don't be afraid to pursue that. Go with your gut. Trust yourself. Nobody's going to care about you more than you do. Well, your mother Your mother might care about you more than anybody else. And hey, your father too. We don't give dads the proper credit that they deserve, but it definitely takes a village to raise somebody. And some of you all have representative fathers, or representative mothers or what have you. Just trust in yourself. And trust that the decisions that you are making are steps on your path. And understand something. It's not a race, it's a marathon. So keep stacking, keep going hard, and don't sweat the BS, because BS is a part of life. But my big advice to you all on this day is embrace yourselves. Smile. Trust your genius. And never let anybody knock you off the path. And if any of you turn into publishers, any of you turn into media people, get cancel culture to cancel important things. Like not the prince kissing Snow White, not Pepe Le Pew, all right, not Dr. Seuss. Make cancel culture cancel something important, something substantive, like student loans. Because a lot of you are going to have problems paying them back. And I know people right now who are still trying to pay them things back. And it's been 20 years. And if you need a helping hand, if you need someone to look to, pray. God is ubiquitous. He's always there. And I wouldn't have come so far without his love, my family's love, and believing in myself. Congratulations, UVA. You did it. You did it during COVID. And shout out to the parents that took the PPP loans and just tried to throw some on the tuition. You see, that's a sweet act. We're not talking about the people that took the PPP loans and bought themselves Maseratis and studio apartments and girls off of OnlyFans. We are talking about people who used it in a positive way. That's a joke. Congratulations. Don't be afraid to fail. And whatever you think, whatever you conceptualize up here is your reality. So always think positive, dream big, and don't be afraid to put the work in. Congratulations, 2021. You did it.
I would like to be the first to thank Jay Pharoah for his inspiring remarks. We couldn't have asked for a better person to help us celebrate this weekend. Class of 2021, it has truly been an honor to serve as your class president for the last 3 years. I am so thankful for that privilege and for the opportunity to address you today. We have spent so much time together and have shared a lot of great memories, experiences, and passions over the last 4 years. When brainstorming how to start this speech, I began by recounting all the major events, the highs and the lows. There is always a sense of uncertainty when going away to college. In addition to this normal nervousness, our incoming class was met with fear. On August 11th and 12th, 2017, white nationalists descended on Charlottesville and brought with them hatred and racial injustice. The events of this weekend made many of my classmates feel like they did not belong in Charlottesville. However, our class and the Charlottesville community found a way to persevere. In one of the community's darkest times, we managed to find light by creating it ourselves. We came together to rally behind initiatives, like the Concert for Charlottesville, to support local businesses and bring awareness to racial inequality. In a way, The class of 2021 was already showing our resiliency before our first day of classes even began. Towards the end of our third year and during the entirety of our fourth year, I also feel that our class has displayed impressive resiliency, time and time again. Before spring break, there were whispers of the coronavirus, but nobody could have expected that over a year later, we would still be feeling its effects. Many of us have been directly affected by this disease, and I want to say that I am incredibly sorry to all who have experienced loss because of it. This pandemic showed us that you cannot take anything for granted, and that you have to soak up every experience as if it might be your last. Our class did not get to have our last home football game or other in-person events and milestones, but I want to applaud everyone for how you kept spirits high during these times. We found creative ways to stay connected with one another and with our communities. Student-led campaigns worked to help local businesses and thank first responders. In addition, during a time where racial inequality and police brutality were main topics in the United States, UVA students did not stay silent. Student-organized protests and activism fought, and continues to fight, for racial justice every day. In a way, the UVA class of 2021 came full circle from the Charlottesville attacks in 2017, which illustrates that we have been able to overcome the worst of times by bringing the good to the community and putting others before us. While we have faced many challenges during the last 4 years, I also think that our time at UVA has been defined by some pretty spectacular milestones and events. It is in many of these times that I truly felt more connected to you all and to our university. Experiencing Lodal and Rotunda Sings on the lawn was incredibly special. Thousands of students came together, and the sense of unity was unparalleled. Well, unparalleled until April of 2019. The NCAA Basketball Championship during our second year brought thousands of people together on the corner and in Minneapolis. We also watched dozens of sporting events and cheered on the Who's as they won 4 national championships during our time. At class-specific events, like the second-year dinner series and the third-year ceremony, we gathered to celebrate our relationships with one another and foster class connection. So far, I have hit on some of the major milestones of the last 4 years, but I also encourage you to reflect on your own college experience by looking deeper at those little moments that defined your time at UVA. Moments like watching the sunset on top of Colberth Garage, sitting on the lawn and admiring the many dogs, the intricate architecture, and the beautiful scenery. Spending hours in Clem 2, but only actually doing 5 minutes of work. Becoming best friends with a stranger in the Coops line. Attending an a cappella or dance performance, or even performing in one. Getting photos and laughing about the events of the previous night with your best friends. Checking Snapchat to see approximately 24 pictures of a truck stuck under the bridge on the corner. Walking past the rotunda and unknowingly cracking a smile because, damn, she is beautiful. All of these small moments and thousands more are really what made up our college experience. I encourage you to try to remember a few of these moments and share them with the people who made them special. Next, I ask that you think about all the communities and individuals that got you to this very moment. It is these communities and individuals that have helped us feel like we had a home at UVA. To our consistently supportive parents and families, thank you for believing in us. To our professors and advisors, thank you for pushing us and for fueling our curiosity. To all the wonderful organizations we have been a part of, thank you for welcoming us and allowing us to explore who we are. To our first-year roommates, hallmates, and RAs, thank you for being our first home base. And to our friends, new and old, thank you for enjoying the ride along with us. Finally, I wanted to leave you with a few things that I have personally learned over the last 4 years. First, people might put you in a box or attach some arbitrary labels to who they think you are. And while these labels can feel suffocating at times, do not let them define how you think of yourself and how you carry yourself. You are so much more than what any single person thinks of you. Similarly, don't be afraid to be different. Many of us have used the last 4 years to explore what is truly important to us and what values we want to drive our person. Second, you are enough and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Everyone at UVA is special and impressive in their own ways. but it can feel daunting, even intimidating at times. It is hard not to compare yourself to others, but I really encourage you to try not to. Some of us have our post-graduation plans solidified, while others are still unsure of what the next few months will hold. But both are totally okay. Take this time to figure out what is best for you, and know that your first job or decision by no means defines what you have to do for the rest of your life. Third, my mom always tells me everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe this. Whether or not you know it, there is a plan laid out for you, and all you have to do is trust the process. While our time at UVA did not finish exactly how any of us thought it would, I am happy to look back on all these moments, big and small, that have defined our college experiences. I'm honored to have walked beside all of you on this journey, and I'm looking forward to the next chapters that are beginning for all of us. Once again, thank you for being such an amazing class, and congratulations to the class of 2021. Wahoo wah.